Hello everyone and welcome to another R&R Partners video. My name is Remus and today we are going to discuss about the process of losing your Romanian residency. Actually, it's more about the right to have a residency in Romania than to actually lose your residency permit, because that's quite simple. If you are new to the channel and you are interested in either emigrating to Romania or opening a Romanian company, you can subscribe to our channel as we post new content each and every other week. In today's video, we are going to discuss about how you can lose your long-term residency, your short-term residency, and also there are some situations which apply to both long-term and short-term residency. First of all, let's start with the short-term residency. So the most common way to lose your short-term residency is not to respect the right that you are in Romania. So basically, if you are in Romania as a student, for example, and you quit your studies, you no longer respect the right that was given to you. The right was to come to Romania and stay here for your studies. Another example would be if you're a family member of a Romanian citizen, you could be no longer residing legally in Romania if you divorced from the Romanian citizen. And last but not least, in this series of examples, if you're a worker who came to Romania, your employer is your sponsor. Therefore, if you ended your work agreement with your employer, then the work agreement and the residency permit ends. There are certain ways how you can go past it, but as long as you do not have another employer who goes through the procedure at the immigration office to get you a new residency permit before the old work agreement ends, your residency permit will end with the work agreement. There is also a particular situation for family members. For example, if you are out of the country for 6 months within a year, you will lose your residency permit. Therefore, you would have to start from the beginning. However, to this situation, there are multiple ways in which you can provide proof that it was time spent out of Romania with a reason. Keep in mind that if you're a family member and if you are on a residency permit for family reunification, if you are out of Romania for more than 6 months within a year, the residency permit will be void and you'll start from the beginning. Also, if you're a dependent on a family member and the sponsor who helped you come to Romania does not provide enough proof that he has resources to keep you in Romania, then you would lose your residency permit and you can no longer stay in Romania. Also, if you're a worker, you came to Romania and your employer has no longer any economical activity, the residency permit will be void and you'll have to go back to your country and come with another employer. Now, there are another two options which are very funny and we seen many happen in practice. Your residency permit will be void if you are found to illegally try to pass the Romanian border. For example, if you're found in the back of a truck trying to get to Hungary and you do not have a Schengen visa, well, then you would be categorized as illegally trying to pass the border. Your residency permit will be void and you will be sent back to your country. The last example of this list, to say so, as there are many particular situations in which you can lose your temporary residency and we cannot go through all of them, would be the case in which you are in Romania to be employed by a company, let's say for example construction limited liability company, and you are found to be working for another company, let's say butcher limited liability company in another place. Well, then your residency permit will be void and you'll have to start from the beginning in your home country. I know this is quite technical information that I'm presenting, so if you have any questions where you are in the procedure of renewing your residency permit or something happens that might endanger your right to stay in Romania, do note that at any time you can book a consultation with our office and we will strive to provide you tailored advice so you'd have no problem with the immigration office and you would be on your track to get a new residency permit and stay in Romania for as long as you want. Before we jump to the situation in which you lose your right to a long-term residency permit in Romania, we need to speak about the situation in which you can lose both your residency permit, the short-term one, and the long-term residency permit. The first of all is using false documentation in order to get your residency permit. If at any point in time the immigration office will find out that you used false documents which helped you in order to get your residency permit, then your residency permit will be void, either if you had a long-term residency permit or a short-term residency permit. If it's found out that you and your spouse do not have a real marriage and all this time you are pretending to be married, do note that even if you have a long-term residency permit, everything will be striked off and you would be starting from zero and sent back to your home country. And last but not least, if it's found out that you entered Romania under a false identity while there was an interdiction on your name, both your short-term residency permit and your long-term residency permit will be void and you'll be sent back to your country. As for the long-term residency permit, there are some offenses that if you are found guilty of, you're going to lose your permanent residency. For example, if you are found guilty and sentenced to prison for more than 5 years for a criminal offense that you did, your long-term residency permit will be void. Also, if you're considered a danger for the public safety, your permanent residency permit will be void and you'll have to start from the beginning. Now, there are also some particular ways in which you can lose your permanent residency. The first of which would be if you receive the right for a permanent residency in another state, the Romanian permanent residency will no longer be available. This is mostly due to the fact that the permanent residency gives you also the right to have a domicile in Romania and you cannot have two domiciles at the same time. The most common way people lose the permanent residency, and I've seen in practice this happen, would be if you are going abroad and you are staying off of the Romanian soil and the EU soil for more than 12 months straight, or if you are in the EU area, you can stay there for a maximum of 6 years before your Romanian permanent residency gets denied. If you found this content useful, we would be grateful if you would hit the like button, as it helps out the channel out and also helps other expats who are in need of information regarding their residency permit, how they can lose it, how they can obtain it, or other similar information. So thank you for watching, and until next time, you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, as we post there daily and you can be up to date with our activity. See you soon and have a great day. Bye.